and the honor to have the epitome of quizzing in India, Mr. Barry O'Brien, as the quiz master and the moderator for the most celebrated CrossFire quiz competition, wherein the total of 36 participants, representing the cream of Patna schools, 18 in number, will be vying with each other for a glorified place in the firmament of triumph. Mr. Barry O'Brien is the worthy son of a very illustrious father, the late Mr. Neil O'Brien. The late Mr. Neil O'Brien himself was a connoisseur of quizzing in his time. Besides that, before retiring for over a decade or more, Mr. Neil O'Brien held the coveted post of Managing Director of Oxford University Press. Prior to this, the late Jyoti Basu, the former Chief Minister of West Bengal, nominated the late Mr. Neil O'Brien as the Anglo-Indian MLA of West Bengal. He executed his office with trademark honesty of purpose. Later, the late Mr. Neil O'Brien became an MP. Eventually, he donned the mantle as senior statesman of the Anglo-Indian community. He became the President-in-Chief of the All India Anglo-Indian Association. He was also chairman of the Council for the Indian School Certificate. Mr. Barry O'Brien's antecedents is of a very rich nature. It is natural that Barry, sir, as we fondly call him, has inherited much of his illustrious father's qualities, especially those of a literary bent. As an inherent tribute to his late father, we find Barry, sir, very closely walking in his father's footsteps. He has now etched for himself a very checkered career. Mr. Barry, sir, is in the galaxy of quiz masters not only well esteemed and highly respected, but through dint of merit has become the cynosure of the quiz world. Besides, he has for a long time authored a good many quiz books which are highly popular and sought after in all schools. He is an accomplished speaker. His near baritone voice, brilliantly and adroitly used in his auditory deliveries, accompanied with his ready wit, has made him a legend. Today, Mr. Barry O'Brien has done his father very proud. He is authoring and mentoring books on English for schools, and also now is going further into the literary world. You can be assured the books are of the highest quality and providentially meet the urgent need of providing the students a profound base in English. He is also closely associated with the renowned publishing house Edward. Further, through dint of merit, Mr. Barry O'Brien has been elected as the President-in-Chief of the All India Anglo-Indian Association. He is now at the vanguard of leading this vibrant community. He is very dynamic and visionary, and we do hope to see his presence gracing the very portals of Parliament very shortly. Thus, we are immensely proud and grateful as a community that we have such a worthy and dynamic leader at the helm of affairs. And we at St. Karen's feel highly honored to have you, sir, in our midst today. May I have a hand of applause, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you. The good books that you are publishing. Have you noticed something besides energy and time? Over. Now, What's the third thing I've done? There's something I've done. And that's my third message to you. What have I done? I have recognized people. So whether it's a family, or your own family, or your friends, or your teachers, don't forget to say thank you and recognize people. And say, thank you very much, Mama. Thanks, Dad, for all that you're doing for us. Go home and do it today. They'll wonder, they'll say, what do you want? Yeah? But I can tell you, when you go and do that, you know, people have stopped doing things aimlessly. When we were younger, we did things aimlessly, for no reason. And I'm told that my parents' generation did it for more aimlessly. It's time to do things aimlessly. Go home and thank your mother with nothing in mind. Just go and thank her, hug her, cuddle her. Don't do it to your dad, because he may have not shaved and you may get a little rough edge over there. But if you don't thank people, if you don't salute people, why do you only do it on Teachers' Day? You know Teachers' Day? The worst day for teachers. All their diet goes out the window. When I was a teacher, a school teacher, I used to wait for Teachers' Day after a few years. Because you just had one cold drink, then you have one singara, then you have one laddu, then again they'll come with another round of something, and you can't say no because my mommy made it, my daddy made it, or whoever made it. And why do you only say thank you on Teachers' Day? Walk up to your teacher and say, ma'am, what a class today. I mean, you're a good teacher.
Thank you, ma'am, for your question. What I think is that rush driving, that road rage can result from rush driving. That road rage is a consequence, it's a product of rash driving. When someone is driving recklessly, when someone is using rash driving, like speed things, then they are at a very great risk of being victims of road rage. But no, they are different. Road rage is when you deliberately, when there is a deliberate accident that is taking place just because you wanted to overtake the other person. Suppose I am driving and somebody in front of me is driving and I want to overtake that person. And now I can't. For some reason I can't overtake that person. So I go out and kill him, or I just slide his car away. So I'll be causing an accident, I'll be ripping apart someone's life. That's road rage. Rash driving is just careless driving.
Another thing, just a little bit on this. You said that if you overtake, now this overtaking out of fun or out of anger?
Ma'am, overtaking, when you do overtake a person, it can be out of necessity. When you need to overtake that person, it can be out of necessity. Out of fun, it can occur between friends, but that again would be categorized as rash driving. Because if you overtake a person, you must keep the rules in mind. Overtaking is not a crime. It's not the cause, it's just a cause of accident. It's not a crime. It can only cause death if you're careless about it, but so can everything else. So if you're careless, if you don't keep your eyes on the road, and you're not aware of your surroundings, and you do not have the simple road ethics of concern over somebody else's life, then
The
that's
country and are blessed with fertile soil. Thus, our agricultural sector should be beaming. Sadly, most of the GDP is contributed by the industrial and the service sector. We need to modernize our agricultural sector with various equipments. We need intellectual officers in rural areas. For example, see the prairies in North America. The prairies are interconnected with the industrial sector and thus are very productive. The Green Revolution, a brainchild of M.S. Swaminathan, was a significant step which allowed India to become self-sufficient in food grains. But its drawback was that it only spread towards Haryana, Punjab and western UP. We need similar techniques, similar revolutionary techniques. We need to educate our farmers about agricultural waste turning into biogas. We need sustainable development of agriculture so that land is not degraded and the future generations can also take up the helm. My friends, most of the youth are dissuaded from agriculture. They find it unappealing and lacking technology. This mindset needs to be improved. We need to work on agricultural science and give it due importance. the implementation and the ideas that we form should be interconnected. Thus, we need to involve local leaders and allow them to be educated by workshops conducted by block developmental officers. My friends, don't you think that we need to empower the very hand that feeds us? Thank you.
It is the very hope of our students to read the fruits of their hard work. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. But the present generation of our India, of our country, has misinterpreted the very concept and objective of education. We have replaced our age-old, rich, diversity-oriented education system with a mechanized, marks-based system of merely providing information. This present system is making us just literates rather than making us educated beings. We rarely see people coming from foreign to our country to receive education, don't we? But a substantial number of our students appear in SAT examinations to go to foreign countries. And this very point questions the efficiency of our education system. This education system lures us into a rat race behind marks, ignoring our true talents and potentials. And as a result of this very rat race, graduates, postgraduates, engineers are sitting idle at their homes or doing menial jobs here and there. But there was a time when Nalanda University was one of the most eminent universities in the entire globe. And if we were able to achieve it at that time, we can achieve it now as well. We just need to join our hands and replace this mechanized mark-based education system with a value-based education system to ensure the development and betterment of this society. Thank you.
And notes, why do you think I did this for the first round? Why do you think I did something like this?
Set us up.
Sorry?
Set us up for the rest of the competition.
Beautiful identity to set us up. What does that mean?
To break the ice.
To break the ice. But what am I trying to give you? What am I trying to do with you or to you?
To enhance the articulation skills of
No, you can't do it in one. What am I trying to do? I mean, yeah, to boost your confidence. I didn't come up and say, now speak on this topic. Everybody's had a feel of the mic. Everybody's had a feel of the stage. Everybody's said something. Everybody's done the simpler thing of reading a text. So when you do something, and as teachers, let's try and take it step by step by making it simpler for the learner, not more difficult for the learner. Yeah, so that's what I've done. All of you are feeling at least 10% more confident or 20% more confident. How many of you are feeling at least 25-30% more confident than 10 minutes ago? There you are. Superb. Yeah? So that's what we've done. However, that's also counted. But I'll just demonstrate 2 or 3. Watch me, how about speak with my whole self. All of you are good. You have powerful voices. But the variety and the modulation has to come. Watch me, huh? And I'll speak with my whole self. Watch my face. Don't look there. Look at me. The sun looked like an orange ball rising in the sky. It was beautiful. Yeah, see? No hurry. Don't go to the words. Let the words come to you. You don't have to go to the words. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to please reconsider your decision. Please believe me. Believe me, there is still hope. Very different from the sun and the orange ball. And the last one, the dog growled ferociously. The cat simply turned her head and calmly walked away. See how I started? The dog growled ferociously. The cat simply turned her head and calmly walked away. Yeah? So what you've got to do is, you've got to own the sentence. You've got to make it your own and put in that expression, okay? Thank you. We'll move on to the next round. Okay, this round is, it's important that you have an opinion, and, so you keep watching me, and have an opinion and be able to express it. So there are topics going to be coming up now. At random, if you put your hand up, I will give you a chance to speak. Right? Don't go on for too long, max 1 minute. Right? You can speak for 10 seconds, you can speak for 1 minute, or even if you're really going well, I may extend it to 90 seconds. The topics. Are you ready? You have to give an opinion. You have to have an opinion and you have to express it. Are we more fortunate than our grandparents were? Who wants to speak? I saw Kinjal's hand and then Harshita's hand. So this is Kinjal of St. Joseph's Convent. Are we more fortunate than our grandparents?
Yes, I definitely think that we are more fortunate than our grandparents. Because the grandparents, they didn't have that kind of technology, they didn't have that kind of facilities that we, the younger generation, are getting today. For example, the technology. It took days and months to travel from one place to the other. But now, we can connect within a second. Even the click of computer, we can connect easily with our grandparents. In terms of the health facilities also, we're more fortunate. We've got more hospitals, we've got more medical facilities to cater upon.
Good, thank you very much, Kinjal. Nice opening sentence, opening statement. Harshita, after that, Harshita, who wants to go from this side? Then we've got over there, is it Keshav? Keshav. And then we will come to Neha.
Well, I completely agree.
You may agree, disagree, expand, etc. Yeah.
I completely agree with Kinjal. Technology has brought a revolution in our generation. Our grandparents did not have access to things like communication. They could not ask their grandparents how they were, but today we are able to express ourselves, listen to them, talk to them, communicate, no matter where they live. We are able to be their dearest grandchildren, even on Skype, WhatsApp call, which they probably did not have. And then there are many other things like, as she said, hospitals, then we have transport facilities, the roads are better. So definitely, we are more fortunate than our grandparents were.
Okay, Harshita thinks the roads are better. I must invite her to Kolkata and then ask her whether the roads are better, but the roads are better in most places. Yes, this is Keshav, and then we have Neha. After Neha, then we move to Navratra.
Few days ago, I saw a video on WhatsApp where was two parents so busy texting on WhatsApp, and the child gave a cold look to both of them and said that I was not born, I was downloaded. This is what is technology doing to us. We are not getting connected to our parents at a personal level, which our grandparents were. They had that time, they had that personal time, they had that quality time with their parents. And the other factor, which I think our grandparents were more fortunate, was I love history. And I love Britishers as well. So they had a chance to live in an era where Britishers ruled India and see how the condition was. So yeah, I think that our grandparents were more fortunate than us.
Okay, thank you very much. Keshav, we said who? Neha, right? Then Navratra.
Hi, I would just like to, I completely agree with Kinjal and Harshita's points. I would like to expand on them. Technology is a valid point. But apart from that, I also feel that earning power has a big role to play. When our grandparents were kids, they did not have the many amenities that we have today. Not every house had a TV and not every person had a telephone. But now, you look at any person, even your rickshaw driver puller would have a phone in his pocket. And just one point I would like to add, Keshav, you have valid points, but what I feel is that even today would be history someday. We are still experiencing the history that the people tomorrow are going through. Thank you.
Okay, can I say something already? The standard compared to year before last is already much, much higher. No, there were good people over there, but the overall standard here, which means that it's a wonderful thing that St. Karen's has done to start something like this, because every one of them is above average. Judges, do you agree with me? They're all above average, that's for sure. Yes. Then we have...
But the distance between the heart is now too far. And the biggest irony is that we are talking with our grandparents on WhatsApp. We are totally far from them, totally engaged in other activities. We don't go out to play, we are not physically fit. But rather in their age, there was nothing like video games or social networking sites. They used to play out and but we are doing physical exercises early in the morning in the parks, you can see, but we don't have time to play out. So I think they were more fortunate.
Thank you. I'm only going to allow 2 more speakers because the next... No, 1 minute, relax. There are many topics. So I will allow 6 speakers for each topic. Right? And I'll give everybody equal chances, don't worry. There are many, many topics, yeah? So we will just have Garima and then I'll switch the topic, yeah?
Okay, I tend to differ from most of my worthy opponents. Most of us consider the aspect of technology here. Now let's consider one another aspect, that is environment. Our grandparents enjoyed a much fresher environment at that point of time. We, although we have recognized a lot more resources at this point of time, we are not able to utilize them properly in a sustainable manner. We're just recklessly using them and polluting the environment in which we ourselves won't be able to live after some point of time. So I definitely believe that they were undeniably more fortunate than we are. And also if we talk about technology, the irony here is that we are getting closer to people, we are just connecting to people, not getting closer to them. We talk to people much, much far away, but we are just drifting away from the people sitting just beside us. Thank you.
I was very impressed. Yeah. Since I didn't clarify, I'm going to give those who want to speak on this topic a chance. But in future, I will not allow more than 4 or 5 or 6 persons to speak on any topic. I'll give you a chance. But this one, I didn't clarify. So, Pranav, you can go for it. After that can be who wants to speak, Sarah, and then Anmol.
Well, I really do agree with the point given there. I really do believe that our grandparents didn't have the resources and the source of information which we do have today. This results in a greater exposure to the world. We have a greater exposure to knowledge and what's happening in the world. This gives us a more clear view through which we can designate our targets in a better way. Something which was not available to our grandparents. So yeah, we are more fortunate than them.
Very good. Sarah?
So I'm going to start out with these really influential words by Margaret Thatcher. For good ideas and true innovation, you need human discussion. Which is why I have taken under consideration all the points which have been spoken, very influential points. Garima's point, however, left a really big impact on me, and I'd just like to expand on that. Technology has brought about a revolutionary change in my life, in everyone's lives, and I am nobody to undermine its pros. But honestly, we should overlook the cons of it. Technology is making us insular. There's no doubt about that. Human emotions are being replaced by virtual emojis. We choose to stare at somebody's profile pictures instead of looking at them in the eye and having organic, healthy conversations. I read in biology, there's this natural phenomena which occurs known as the cognitive overload, wherein, see, technology has brought about a revolutionary change with all these information influx. You keep garnering new information, and what happens is that the conscious part of the prefrontal cortex of the brain gets overloaded with so much information in such little time that it finds it difficult to transfer this information to the long-term memory, which is the actual memory. Yes, and this impairs human interaction. So, of course, technology is very beneficial, very, very beneficial. I do not know how the world would progress as much as it already has, but at the same time, I would just point out that let's also be aware about the repercussions of this increasing infomania. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Anmol? Anyone else after that? No. Don't worry, there are many other topics. Okay, I'll give you a chance. Yeah. Everybody restricted to less than a minute, okay?
All wonderful points here. See, I was at my grandma's place and a friend of mine had sent me a video of a cat, a real funny one. So I was watching this video and my grandma says to me, Anmol, you have the knowledge of the entire world within your fingertips. You can access and contact anyone. You can communicate with anyone. And you're watching videos of felines? We have one here. See it. The point I'm trying to make is what we do with technology is what matters the most. Our grandparents may not have that much technology, but they did not also have this much competition. Children nowadays are preparing for competitive exams that they have to give 6 or 7 years later. This competition has created a problem of unemployment as well as myriad other problems that we have to face. To conclude, I believe that each generation has its own perks, but the values that my grandparents had but definitely better than this generation has. Thank you.
Very good, Anmol. Thank you. Either you should be looking at the people like I am now, or looking at them there. You cannot be looking nowhere and speaking because no one is going to listen to you. 3, some of you are still going to the words. Wait, speak a little slower. Wait for the words to come to you. Let there be a pause sometimes between sentences, and your mind will tell you what to say. Okay? Just try. But wonderful, great. Now, since we're running out of time, we will allow just 3 speakers on each topic. But there are many topics, so don't go for it. Don't put your hand up unless the topic really means something to you. Here's the next topic, put your hand up. Pressure on students, who's to blame? One hand's gone up there. Pressure on students, who's to blame? 2, 3. So I'm going 1, 2.
Or 14 hours of our day, and which are quite large hours by the way. Why are we doing this is that we are chasing goals in which we are not, enjoying the path. I mean, most of the PCM students want to be engineers, but there are very less of them who actually enjoy reading engineering. So if you do not enjoy what you are doing, you are not learning it good. So who is to be blamed? Your choices is to be blamed for the pressure you are taking. If you have made right choices for yourself, you will enjoy your job and will never feel pressurized.
Thank you very much. Friends, before we go further, who were the judges for the prelim? They're not here? The same? I didn't know they were the same. Whoever has judged the prelim have not done a good job. They've done a fantastic job of choosing the people. I mean, every one of them. I can't believe you're 16 years old and 17 years old. I bet all of you are under 18. When we were your age, you could ask us something about Sunil Gavaskar, I could tell you. Or you could ask me about Amitabh Bachchan, I'll tell you. Or maybe how to climb a tree, I'll tell you. But I did not have this depth and this width of the way you're thinking. Fantastic. Okay, just pointing out 1 or 2 things. Some of you have got into have very well done. I think it was in the first round, Anmol. He said his grandmother told him something, right? What's the big plus if you use direct speech? You know what direct speech is, huh? Direct speech means, Barry sir said, I am so happy. If you say Barry sir said he was so happy, then that's not direct speech. That's reported speech or indirect speech. When you're speaking, will it help you if you try to use a lot of direct speech? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, why?
Because then you don't have to think what you have to say and which manner you have to say. You already do.
Hurry. He has become a grandmother or grandfather.
No,
while speaking, why will it help you? Quick.
If we use direct speech, a person can connect or relate himself with that.
Yes, why does it sound better? I want to hear a story. I don't want to hear, my grandmother told me this. I want to hear my grandmother say, hey, what are you doing? And I reply, so it's a nice story. A, B, you can become your grandmother. Or you can become, imagine saying there was a big bear and the big bear walked up to the little mouse and said he was going to eat that mouse up. Imagine if you said there was a big bear and the big bear walked up to the little mouse and said, I'm going to eat you up. And the little mouse said, why me? See, I've become the big bear and the little mouse and myself. So direct speech is very important. I tell all teachers at teacher workshops, use direct speech, become somebody else. So anybody who use direct speech, you're on the right track. Good. I've already noticed some of you trying to modulate your voice a little more. Excellent. Very good. Okay, next topic. Does social media make people unsociable? Obviously, I will give other hands a chance. So does social media, those who have spoken the last topic, just put your hands down for now. Let me see if I have time. The last topic, this one. So you haven't spoken. Some of you have spoken. Kinjal. After Kinjal, we will go to Elika. And after Elika, to Naini.
Yes, I definitely think that social media has actually made people unsociable. I can recollect an experience. My friend, she is directly connected on social media, be it on Facebook, on WhatsApp, Skype, or any other such social media platforms. And what the change I've seen in her, it's getting worse. She doesn't want to talk to her friends. She doesn't want to talk to her parents. She doesn't want to talk to her well-wishers. She's already indulged in a virtual reality, in a virtual world, where the people, the identity of the people is not known, where we do not know the people whom we are talking, do they actually exist or not? It's just a virtual reality, I say that. So yes, the social media is trying to drift these teenagers of today, not only the teenagers, even the adults, away from the children, away from the other people, away from their friends.
Kinjal, very good. I'm going to give the comment, if I have one, immediately after you speak, until I'm forgetting and getting old. Kinjal is waiting for the words to come. She's not going to the words. Very good. I forgot to tell you, that is Keshav, you kept asking, and you asked questions while you were speaking last. That's really good. That's a good style of speaking, good way of speaking. You know, what will they do? And why are they doing this? And how do they do it? See? It's a good way. You were doing it. Good. Thank you very much, Kinjal. Who's next? Yeah. Elika, and then you.
I really agree with Kinjal, what she said, that really social media are making us more unsociable. It's with all of us that we are not connected to people directly, but we are more, we want to talk to them more on phones or like our grandparents. What we have discussed in the previous session, that we are more connected to them on Facebook, Skype and other social medias, then we want to go to see them or we care for them. But it's more that we are more being indulged in social medias than we are being more social to people.
Thank you very much, Elika. Then we have Danny. Anyone wants to speak after that? Who hasn't spoken the last topic? Yeah, so we'll go for Navratra and Sara and Harshika. Did you speak on the last topic, no? No, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. When we talk about people being unsociable because of social media, the thing is, we're talking about the people who used to be extroverts before being influenced by social media. There are other people too. There are people who, because of their mental illnesses, they can't directly interact with other people. There are people who are mute, who are deaf. What about them? We say that people are being unsociable because of social media. We all know YouTube. YouTube is one of the biggest communities where people can come, create their own content, meet other people. YouTube does a really great thing every single year. It's called VidCon. VIDCON, VidCon. Almost every single country has its own VidCon. India has YouTube Fan Fest in Mumbai. The international VidCon is in Anaheim, California. People who are the fans of these YouTubers, these YouTube creators, they meet there. They meet there, thousands and thousands of people together, meeting because of one single person on the internet. This is a true story. I'm a big fan of YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube. I didn't have many friends. I was an introvert. Because of YouTube, because of my favorite YouTube creators, because of Instagram, because of Tumblr, because of my blog and my writing on the internet, I found people who were like me, who shared the same interests as me. If I ask people here, do you know Dan Harwell and Phil Lester? Anyone? No one. How am I supposed to interact with people who do not share the same interests as me? On the internet, I can find millions of people who share their same interests, who appreciate me for who I am.
You have won my heart. Not just your opinion, I may differ in my opinion. The way she's got a natural way of speaking. And it's very important to develop your own natural way of speaking. And she's done something different. She's out of the box, she's thought differently and saying something which is different from what everyone else is saying. Sometimes it really works, okay? But I admire your natural way of speaking. Very good. Okay, who wants to speak also? Yes, yeah. Navratra, then Harshita. Quickly, keep it short.
Well, I totally agree with this topic. Social media has made our...
No, the topic doesn't say anything. It's a question mark. You give your opinion.
Yeah,
So you can't agree with the topic. The topic is asking you, no?
So sorry.
No, sorry. I'm just...
Yes, I do say that social media make people unsocial. I'll just give a short example. We all know that one of a man, he lives in Orissa, and his wife, she died. And there was no ambulance, so he has to carry her dead body and walk up to a mile, I guess, to his house. There were many people making videos of it, but no one came to help him. Then there's a situation when I faced it last year. My Masi died on my birthday. It was something terrific. And you're making videos of a person who is carrying the dead body of someone very close to him. He has lost her forever. She won't be returning. But we are making videos, and the worst part is the media is showing those videos. Secondly, in Bangalore, in daytime, I guess it was afternoon, and on main road, a lady was being raped. Yes, she was being raped daytime on the road, and people were making videos of it. Miss, do we really
conclude? Yeah.
Is it a humanity? Don't you think we are going too far of humanity, and we are really becoming unsocial just to get few likes or few comments? We are just taking selfies with the dead bodies of our relatives. Do you find it something we can call social? Totally, social media is making us totally unsocial, and I can say that some people, they are just putting out the bad point of social media by doing these things.
Okay, Navratra, if Vinay has a natural way of speaking, Navratra has passion. That's her strength. She's a passion.
But
a lot of
they
passion.
are a completely different person. They are the biggest extroverts and virtually active people you will meet. The thing is, the reality of the situation is, they are living two different lives. But in the real world, in the physical world, when somebody meets you, they're not going to stalk you on Facebook. They're not going to see how you uplift yourself. They aren't going to see how you present yourself on the social media. They are going to see how you present yourself to them in the physical world. And I personally, like I mentioned earlier, I believe it's making us into somebody we are not in actuality, but what we pretend to be on the media, because that's who we want to be. I just came across this news on HuffingtonPost.uk that a Harvard research group had found statistics that a normal teenager, an average teenager, checks their phone once in every 6 minutes. And this causes the release of this hormone called the dopamine. And the dopamine is the same hormone which releases after excess consumption of drugs like cocaine, which in turn develops mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. I'm going to leave at just one point. Tell me exactly, how does depression, anxiety and the development of such mental illness make you sociable? Thank you.
Judges are teachers, but hear me out. Sir Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington, said this after the Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo was won at the playing fields of Eton. Eton is a very big school in England, one that prides itself on teaching values. I know the people of my generation. We bicker, we argue, and we most definitely do not listen. Yet you put up with us. Even though you have to take 6 or 7 classes a day, you come with a smile on your face. At least most of you do. Well, in my life, growing up, my father was mostly not here. He was posted at many places. So the most important stories and information I got was from my teachers, who were communicative, who talked to me. See, a teacher can be your friend too. Try it out. Talk with your teachers. They are people, not robots, meant to strangle you. We often see teachers as stringing martinettes.